Heyyo Goat format players, it's Skill Brown Magician here, and I'm back with a spicy secret deck profile that I've been building in the lab. So this is Bark Fiends, and yeah, it's a fiend deck that plays during the damage step. And if you've been following Goat format, uh, something you know is that the damage step is really underexplored. There's not a lot of cards, first off, that even really play in the damage step. Um, there's things like limiter removal, obviously, like shout outs to my machine deck that I dropped last week, and you guys gave it a lot of love, so I appreciate that. And yeah, other cards, I think the premier example of like a damage step card is Blast with Chain, and that's always paired with Gear Freed, and allows you to do these kind of like complicated plays where maybe if your opponent doesn't know all the rulings in GOAT format, you could take advantage and get an edge. And the same applies with this Bark of Dark Ruler, and you have even more of an advantage because it's even more of a rare card, and no one plays this card. I haven't found any deck profiles really that are running this, and yeah, I mean, it's super weird how I found it. I was building a Saturn burn profile, and yeah, Saturn agent of Saturn burn profile. Yeah, you heard that right. And I stumbled across this card, and I just knew, dude, I gotta make a deck around it. So enough blabbing. Let me tell you some of the main theories and the cool things that I wanted to do with this card after I read the effect. So, Bark of Dark Ruler. If a fiend monster you control battles during the damage step, you pay life points in multiples of 100, then target the opponent's battling monster. That opponent's monster loses that much attack and defense until the end of this turn. So, what that allows you to do is, if you don't know the breakdown, basically, if you declare an attack or your opponent declares an attack with your monster, and they don't respond with something like, let's say you attack with Giant Germ, and they say that your attack is okay, they're not going to activate Sakuretsu armor, it's cool, they're going to let it attack. In damage step, I can activate Bark of Dark Ruler, and then it allows me to manipulate the attack or defense value of their monster. They cannot chain to this unless they have a card that also can manipulate attack and defense values, or more commonly, they have to have a spell speed 3, which is basically just a counter trap. And that is the fastest, you know, speed, I guess, in the game, spell speed 3. So if they don't have Solemn, which I don't think they'll have, and I don't think they're going to Solemn your Bark of Dark Ruler, they're basically not stopping this. You can kind of think of it as like a more situational limiter removal uh, that targets just one monster. But here's some cool things that I thought of. First, when I ran into this, I was like, okay, what's a fiend card that would pair well with Bark of Dark Ruler? Like, what could actually make this a deck? And I first thought of Giant Germ because it's a recruiter and you want to crash into it. And whoa, this literally allows you to manipulate your opponent's attack to exactly 1,000, which is, it's perfect, right? And even better, even though you had to pay some of your life points to get them down to 1,000, Giant Germ has a secondary effect where not only does he recruit Giant Germs from the deck, but he inflicts 500 burn damage when he gets destroyed by battle. So first, he kind of gives you like a little bit of a kickback uh, for that life point cost of Bark of Dark Ruler, and then you swarm the field with 2 more Giant Germs, and they're both 1,000 attack, and then they also have that same burn effect. So they're gonna be a pain to deal with. So that was the first one. I was like, okay, cool. Giant Germ, Bark of Dark Ruler, that's like the ideal combo. Perfect. Sangan, also 1,000 attack. Everybody knows Sangan's effect. Being able to crash one of their monsters, get rid of a monster, get a search from your deck to your hand, that's pretty cool. So also works with Sangan. Then I started thinking more deeply about Bark of Dark Ruler, and I thought, yes, it is kind of like limiter removal. It's kind of like Sakuretsu armor. It's kind of like Ring of Destruction. It's like Magic Cylinder, even, because it has this. It's almost like a burn effect because you can lower their attacking monster, obviously, to lower than whatever your monster is. And if you can pay, you could basically take like their monster, lower it to 0 attack. Of course, you're paying your own life points, but combine that with Giant Orc. So let's say they're swinging in with Blade Knight. And, well, that doesn't make any sense. Why would they attack into your face of Giant Orc? I guess that doesn't really make sense. But if they're attacking into, like Archfiend Soldier or Terror King Archfiend with like Chaos Sorcerer, you could pay 2,300 life points, and then they're going to take 2,000 damage, and their Chaos Sorcerer will be destroyed. So basically, I got to show you the replay because I'm getting lost in the sauce here. But yeah, I'm playing all these beat sticks. I'm playing Bark of Dark Ruler as like a burn card paired with an aggro deck. And yeah, that was kind of the idea. I threw in a couple things like Jar of Greed to speed up the process, some Dust Tornadoes because we're playing an aggro deck, Call the Haunted, Prima. Here's the sideboard. Okay, that's enough of the profile. Let me show you the actual gameplay, and then we can talk about like what actually goes on here. Okay. Yes, if you've been enjoying this profile and you're enjoying kind of seeing something new, something not, that you don't typically see, let me know. Give me a thumbs up, like the video, comment. Yeah, let me know what you think. Have you ever built something like this? All right. So I got to go first, set the dust, and I set one of my Terror King Archfiends. So I'm not able to summon it, but that's okay. Because if he gets attacked and he gets flipped that way, it works. And yeah, it actually kind of worked out for me here. So he's playing a Ritual deck, and I like this replay since it's a good deck. And yeah, he loses 100. So this is one of the pluses of having Terror King Archfiend. You can just set him. If they swing into it, he actually has decent defense. Only thing is, be careful because you don't want to get killed by your own life point cost for Terror King Archfiend. Because now, when he passes over to my standby phase, I have to pay the 800 life points. But in his end phase, I get rid of his Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. We don't know what the other one is. But I decide we're going to go for it. And before I forget, I pay my 800 life point cost to keep Terror King on the field. I swing in with Giant Germ first, and he's smart. He doesn't want me to bring out the Swarm. So we both lose 1,000. Cool, and this is a aggro deck, and we're just going beat down. So, cool. As long as we're taking life points, it's looking good. Interesting. I don't know why I didn't just go for it here. I had so many monsters. I should have just went for it. I think when you're playing aggro, I think you just call them out. You just say you either have the Torrential or you have the Mirror Force. You either have it or you don't. Yeah, and then interesting. So I set him. Interesting. Not what I would have expected, but I guess it's also good to have a follow-up play so you can have your monster. So he puts my knock back on top of the deck. I guess that's all right. And he's going to swing over. Like here, if I had Bark of Dark Ruler, I could have really made him pay. And the next turn potentially has an open field because I cleared his monster. So could have been good if I had Bark of Dark Ruler there. That's okay though. Fortunately, I have the answer in Exiled Force. We're going to flip summon. Let's just go in for the 19. We're going to set. And he gets his pot. He goes Snatch. That's a nuisance. And yeah, kind of just getting all this value from The Ritual Engine, super cool. Dang, and then he hits me with Duo. Man, I forgot this replay. It's like I'm reliving it. That's fortunate I draw into the ring. Just gonna attack, and that's gonna be, so I get game 1 there. And now we're going to game 2. I know we didn't get to see Bark of Dark Ruler, but speaking of the card, let's see if I use it. I do use it in this match. Alright, so was able to win the first game, didn't even have the spice yet, doesn't really know what I'm playing, probably just thinks it's a regular Archfiend deck. Little does he know, we got some major spice in here. Okay, so he got, yeah, he honestly started so strong here. Thunder Dragon, Pot of Greed, Upstart, gets to search and thin the deck with Senju. Yeah, just a really ridiculous start. And then I'm over here with double Bark of Dark Ruler. You gotta, live by the sword, die by the sword. So I just go Kaiku. And I'll just say, sure, let's just start attacking. Get rid of one of his Thunder Dragons, why not? And then he brings out Zambira. Yeah, pretty sure he sided that in. I'm able to snipe the Torrential, which is pretty cool, and I'm able to even set one of my Bark of Dark Rulers. But I don't get a Fiend quite yet. I'm just trying to get rid of the Zambira. I think I probably could have just held DD Warrior Lady. Here we go. So I call the Haunted back my Kaiku and he leaves it. He allows it to stay. And here we go. So I'm excited here because I got the Giant Germ and I do have the Bark of Dark Ruler set. So he has 2 back row. We're going to see, can we get it through? We're going to normal summon, slam down the Giant Germ, and we're going to just say attack. And he lets it through. And I say, damage step, you're not just going to take the 500, buddy. You're going to lose your Kaiku as well. I pay 800 life points. His Kaiku gets destroyed, and I got the Dream Play. We got the double Giant Germ swarming the field, cleared the field of the Kaiku. And then he's like, nah. That would have been too cool, buddy. And getting that banished would have been strong. But we still poke for the 2000, and we're going to set another Bark of Dark Ruler. And check this out. So he banishes his Light and Dark, and he's like, I'm going to banish one of your guys. Cool. Doesn't even want to attack. He already knows the spice. He's like, nah, I'm good. So here, I'm like, all right, we're going aggro. We're going to battle. What are you going to do? He gives the thumbs up, and I say damaged up again, and I pay 1,400 life points. I should have just paid the 2,300 and then just put him more on a clock, honestly. If I had paid 2,300, he would have taken, what, like 1,000 damage? He would have been at, 4,100. Then he takes the 18, yeah. Yeah, so if I had just gone all out with the Giant Germ, that might have served me better. But now he gets his play going. He had the Thunder Dragons to pitch for the Ritual Summon. He's going to gobble up the Kaiku. And, oh no, what a bummer. Gets rid of it. Gets to poke in. Dang, I thought I was going to be fine. He hits me with the Duo again. But he's putting himself on a clock. He's really putting himself on the clock. Okay, here we go. So, I got to go for it here. I'm going to get rid of that Magic Drain. Crazy. I play that card in my Gear Free deck. That's a really cool card. Anyways, so we're going to battle. and I decided I need to get rid of that back row. I don't want to risk attacking, and then he just kills me right here with something in the back row. So I know I could swing over the, what is that, Manju? Pretty sure it's Manju. Oops. And I knew, yeah. So I could swing over it, and then he's gonna have to attack over my breaker next turn. I could take an attack and just try to hold on and draw the out. And we get the Saku, and I got the out. And he has no monsters. I have the duo, and I decided, you know what? He duoed me. I only had one card. I'm a duo you. And I hit him. That snatch could have been an issue. And here I draw my giant orc. And that is game. So game 2, definitely get to see the spice with Bark of Dark Ruler. I mean, you see, this guy was throwing the whole kitchen sink at me. It was a really good match, and yeah, he like really did everything he could in his power to slow me down, delay me, Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. But I'm telling you, Archfiends, or not Archfiends, Fiends, being able to play in the damage step, so underrated. I think just in Go format in general, super underexplored, really fun to play in the damage step. You just know like it's going through. You're playing something spicy, and your opponent has to respect it. You could see there was, you know, a little hesitance to attack in with Chaos Sorcerer. Obviously, you don't want to take the burn damage, so that's why he banished. But that doesn't even matter because if I attack, I can also use Bark of Dark Ruler. So really fun card. I hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know what you think. Um, yeah, and if you stuck around to the end, shout out to you. I appreciate you very much. Thanks for sticking around, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Hoping to do one video a week and keep it consistent for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, this was fun getting to talk about this profile and get to talk a little more about the spice and not rush through it as quickly. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, take care. See you in the next one. Later.